to everybody who's watching. And I'm not going to take a lot of your time today, but I thought I would jump in. And first of all, I want to welcome you to drboycetv.com. This is the home for intelligent Black people. So if you're not Black and intelligent, you're welcome to leave. I'm not going to cuss today. I promise myself I'm going to try not to cuss so much. But then again, it's nighttime, so fuck it. Anyway, so here's what I wanted to hit you guys with. I want to say hello to Melanie and Sashi and Rose and Maxine and Latanya and Peponea and everybody else. Let's talk about this interesting thing that came in my inbox. Somebody, actually, it wasn't in my inbox. It was actually on my Instagram. I was on my Instagram. My Instagram is the real Boyce Watkins. If you want to follow me on Instagram, and I led a conversation there about this when I saw it. I saw Dr. Shana Etienne had posted an image of this new Harriet Tubman debit card, and it was this interesting looking card that has Harriet Tubman basically doing like this. Give me a yes or no if you saw an image of that card. Some of you follow me on Instagram. Did you see the image? Give me a yes or no in the chat if you saw the image. I'm going to pull the image up for those who haven't seen it yet. I think you probably will want to see this. Give me a yes or no if you've seen the image and seen what it looks like. It's very interesting. Very interesting. So let me see here. So as a financial guy, you know, I took a strong interest in that one. So let me see. I'm going to pull this up so you guys can take a look. It's a conversation starter. It's definitely a conversation starter. So hold up. Wait. Am I hitting the right buttons? Here we go. Okay, so I think I have it here, and I'm going to pull it here, and I'm going to go ahead and hit this. Okay, so there's the image right there. You guys can see it. There's Harriet Tubman. She's got looking fierce. That looks a lot like, I'm not going to say what it is or isn't. It looks a lot like, what movie does this remind you of? This reminds you of a certain movie. Tell me, because it was the movie where Black people spent more money going to see this movie than it would have cost us to build our own school system, by the way. we donated over $1 billion in Black wealth to seeing this movie, and it went into the hands of the Disney shareholders. It didn't come to your community. That's all that money that you guys give away every year, talking about reparations and stuff, and y'all giving your money away. But anyway, yes, it's the Wakanda Forever sign. That's what it looks like to me, and it's from the movie Black Panther. Now, One United Bank, ironically, very oddly enough, they've argued that this was not the Wakanda Forever symbol, that this was actually the symbol, a sign language symbol for love. Okay, I can accept that argument. I don't agree with it. In fact, it kind of doesn't. It kind of almost makes things worse. The reaction has been pretty negative. I was reading on my Instagram. And you guys, if you want to leave a comment for me to consider, please feel free to go to my gram, The Real Boyce Watkins. And a lot of you didn't like it. And here's why I think that the Black Panther movie certainly was the inspiration for. Sorry, sometimes you hit a button and noise starts happening. So here's the image of the Wakanda Forever thing next to the Harriet Tubman image. It looks a lot like Wakanda Forever. Now, Ryan Coogler, who made the movie, I think this is the loophole for One United Bank. Ryan Coogler, who made the movie, said that he actually came up with the Wakanda symbol. It was inspired by the symbol for love, the sign language symbol for love. So what One United seems to be arguing is that the Harriet Tubman image is not, it's not from the Black Panther. It's not a Wakanda thing. It's sign language for love because Harriet represented love and she exuded love and all she did. And it's I don't know. Tell if you think it sounds like BS, type BS in the chat. If you think the explanation sounds legit, type legit in the chat. I want to see what you guys think. Do you believe their explanation, or do you think it's BS, or do you think it's legit? I'm gonna have to go ahead and call BS. I think that what they're probably doing is maybe dealing with the fact that they don't want to deal with any sort of, I guess, liability issues that might come from violating a trademark or copyright or something that is there. But I really think that they want to have a long talk with their, marketing department. Terry Williams, I think, is the name of I was reading on BET.com. Terry Williams is I think the CEO of the company. Let me see here. I'm looking here. And Terry Williams basically says, oh, here we go. Let me read some of this to you. Here we go. Officials from One United, the nation's largest Black-owned bank, say that it's not a Wakanda symbol, but rather American Sign Language for love. Terry Williams, the bank's chief operating officer, told NBC News that it had been making plans to use Tubman's image since 2016. They moved ahead when the Trump administration would not place her depiction on the $20 bill, which had first been conceived during Barack Obama's presidency. Quote, "We didn't want to portray her as she normally is, which is in a passive pose," said Williams. "When the artist presented the image of her, we actually loved it. Particularly today, Black love is an important message." Yeah, but it looked like you kind of stretching a little bit. Like I think you're playing off the Wakanda thing, which unfortunately for them gives the impression that they're kind of pandering to a Black audience, using trigger language and trigger imagery that's going to get you to basically go get the debit card. Now, do I have an issue with the use of their debit card or using One United Bank? No, I don't. I mean, you got other banks out here. They probably care less about you than they do. At least they're thinking about you when they're doing their marketing. But I think at the same time, they probably need better advisors. Like they probably need some people in there. Like I think any of us, give me a yes or no if you're in this category. A lot of you are educated. Like this is a platform for intelligent Black people. In fact, I invite people to not come if they're not going to be, at least try to be intelligent. Do you think that if you were in the boardroom and somebody came up with that image, or somebody came in and said, "Hey y'all, I got this great promotion idea. We're gonna put Harriet Tubman on a debit card, and it's gonna look like this. Like we're gonna put Harriet Tubman, y'all, on the debit card. She's gonna do the Wakanda symbol." Do you think you would have probably said something in the meeting to maybe let them know that wasn't a great idea? How many of you would have spoken up in the meeting? Give me a yes or no if you would have caught that error in advance before they put that out in front of hundreds of thousands of people. Like I don't know. I'm gonna raise my hand because I probably would have been like, that would have been me. Like that would have been me in the meeting. I wouldn't have. I would have been like, I would have been like, "No, Bob, please don't do this. The black people get very upset, and they're not gonna like this, right?" So I would have been, see, that's why you need Black people in the boardroom with you. You need real Black people though who are really in touch with the community. But unfortunately, they don't want to touch the community. They don't want those marginalized Black people around. They want the bougie Negroes. And I can see the bougie Negroes really thinking this is a great idea. But the masses of the people aren't gonna get this, and I I'll tell you, I mean, I keep my finger on what the masses are thinking. That's why I'm a statistician. So we run surveys and I'm like, okay, what are people thinking about this? I'll look at all your comments. I may not respond to every comment, but I see the comments. I see what you guys are saying. I'm listening to you every step of the way because I understand that the first step in good leadership is to be a good follower, to be a good servant, right? So my goal every day is to serve you and also to learn from you, right? So if I'm going to be your teacher, I have to be a student. And I'm going to tell you, it took me about 5 minutes. Like, think about this. I mean, this is what I think if One United is watching this, if somebody from One United is watching this video, I want you to process this for a minute. Now, maybe I have a PhD in finance, so maybe that's why I see things in a different way. But think about this. I put this image up and I said, "So what do y'all think?" I didn't even tell people what to think. I knew how I felt, but I wanted to know how you guys felt. It took me 5 minutes to realize that was a bad idea. Like 5 minutes. I put it up on my Instagram. My Instagram is a real Boyce Watkins. You guys can join those conversations. I think it's a special place. It's not like I saw another one. I saw the Shade one, which has a couple million followers. And there was literally a video of Lizzo twerking in a thong. I swear to God, like Lizzo, big bloated ass Lizzo, who's promoting obesity and thought culture to the world. And that's why white folks pay her lots of money, right? That's why she gets paid, is because she's like a mega thought. And she's literally on the page, like in a thong. I thought she looked naked, which is a scary sight. And she's twerking her ass, right? And I'm sitting there thinking, is this what millions of Black people are interested in? It really, so my Instagram doesn't go in that direction. My goal, we have a little fun, like we get ratchet and all that, but I want us to be smarter. I really think that Black people are going to be better off if we choose to become smarter. I don't think we're better off if we're sitting there watching Lizzo twerk. Not only is it a traumatic sight, the children might be watching. They'll need therapy for years, but also maybe we can elevate ourselves just a little bit. Maybe that'll help us. But anyway, but you're right though. Nana says you don't need to have a PhD to see that it's not a good idea. That's 100% true. You just have to listen. You just have to pay attention. And I literally within 5 minutes knew, like, this is a no go, right? So I'm trying to figure out. This is why I'm at bringing this up. What happened in that board meeting, and who was in those board meetings where this image was presented? Like, hey y'all, this is our new debit card. And who was it that did not say anything? Like, is it that you have a culture of fear where people are afraid to speak up? Is it that you don't have any black people in the room, but you're pretending to be a black-owned bank? Like, now I'm really curious. Like, I really want to know. I'd love for, if One United is watching this, I'm asking these questions in an open way. You guys know I don't talk about anybody on this podcast without giving them a chance to defend themselves. So if anybody from One United sees this is not a diss video. This is me asking legitimate questions. You know, do you not have black people in your decision-making space? And if you do, what types of black people do you have? Because most black people, most normal black people, you know, I'm talking about everything from black people with GEDs to Negroes with master's degrees, would have looked at that and said, what are you doing? Like, this isn't going to work. And so now they've got to roll back and try to explain, and they made it actually worse by giving this BS explanation. Well, it's really a symbol for love. It has nothing to do with Wakanda. Come on now. Seriously? Really? Really? Like, who was it that was in the room when you made that decision to respond to the previous bad decision? It's like a quarterback who gets the snap. The sports fans will get this analogy. You imagine a quarterback who gets the snap and he fumbles the ball, and then he picks up the ball and he starts running backwards. He runs back another 10, 15 yards to try to get away from the defense. Anybody ever see, any football fans in here that know what I'm talking about, where you take a bad decision and you make it worse by trying to fix it in a really bad way? Like, they tell you, like, if the ball hits the ground, just jump on it, protect the ball. Just take the 5-yard, 8-yard loss and be done. But no, a bad quarterback will fumble the ball, pick it up, run back another 12, 15 yards, and get sacked 25 yards behind the line of scrimmage, right? So ultimately, when you're talking about this, it just was a bad business decision. And I'm sure that they would agree with this. And I'm sitting there just trying to figure out who in your organization is making one bad decision on top of another bad decision. That's my 2 cents. Now, why am I talking about this? I'm talking about this because, black people, I care about black people. Like, I care about black people more than I care about finance. But finance is what I care about after that. So black economics is kind of my thing. I know a lot about it. And so, black people being sold a debit card with Harriet Tubman's image on it, is of interest to me. Do I think that this means the debit card is not worthy of use? No, I don't know. I don't know anything about One United and their pricing and all that. I mean, again, if they're legitimately a black-owned bank and legitimately employing, like, really and legitimately impacting the black community in significant ways, in unique ways, then yeah, I think they would deserve our support. But to me, the measuring sticks are, what are your diversity numbers in terms of hiring? Who's actually making the decisions. And I'd be curious to know who those black people are who all sat in a room. I can't imagine you having 10 black people in a room looking at this image and all agreeing that this makes sense. Like that makes me question who's really running this bank. Because as Dr. Claude Anderson has talked about, he's the author of Powernomics. Dr. Claude Anderson has talked about certain black banks that pretend to be black banks, but aren't really black banks. I'm not saying One United is in that category. I don't know. Again, if you know somebody from that bank who's in a leadership capacity, have them email us information. My email is boyce@boycewatkins.com, and I'll look at it. I'll consider it. I'm not in any way trying to attack the bank, because a white bank could have made this mistake as well. But I do think that there's something to be said about this. So anyway, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. Please take 1 second, hit that thumbs up button. If you're on Twitter, please retweet this video. Leave your comments. Let me know what you think about this Harriet Tubman image. And I think some of you were asking about what does our conversation have to do with financial literacy? That's a great question. It has a little bit to do with financial literacy, but we do a lot of other stuff as well. So if you would like to take a look at some of my digital lectures and things like that on financial literacy, or my books, Powernomics books, stuff like that, you can go to drboycebooks.com. That's drboycebooks.com. Use the code word podcast and you can get 10% off everything in the store. It's an awesome bookstore, an amazing library with digital lectures, financial flashcards for children that we invented specifically for black kids. We couldn't just go get a template of financial flashcards for black kids. We had to go and actually make them. It took a while to do it. We made financial workbooks for black children. I worked with black educators for 2 years to get those done. So you can go check those out at drboycebooks.com. So there's a lot of good stuff over there. Use the code word podcast to get 10% off. Also, if you want to support the platform and join our private lecture, we're doing a private VIP conversation, a Q&A, a Black Wealth Q&A on Monday. And you can go to intelligentblackpeople.com and sign up there. If you're a patron there, then you can come into the private VIP conversation and we can have a conversation. I will answer every single question that you ask. Every single question. It could be a financial question. It could be non-financial, whatever you want to know. I will answer every single question. So feel free to go to intelligentblackpeople.com. That's intelligentblackpeople.com. So I'm out of here, guys. Take care. And let me know what you think. Leave your comments and let me know what you think about the card. My vote is they could have probably done something a little bit different, a little bit better. Maybe just a card with Harriet Tubman on it. I think it's the Wakanda thing that kind of got people kind of a little bit upset because remember the Wakanda imagery and all that. That's a Disney asset. That's not black. And then that's another thing about black people is that we have to be really cautious about taking intellectual and emotional ownership over things that don't belong to us, right? So for example, you guys know, I've had Daryl Bell on this platform. Daryl Bell was on this show called A Different World. He played Ron's best friend. And Daryl Bell is the guy who hit me to the fact that most everything with that show, Different World, is not owned by black people, but black people will say, like, that's our show. Like, that's one of our shows. And it's not one of your shows because it's not an asset owned by black people. And the reason that there hasn't been a remake of The Different World is because basically Warner Brothers doesn't want to do it. And whenever it's brought up, whenever any of the original cast members say, hey, Warner Brothers, why don't we do a remake of A Different World? Black people love the show. It's their show. They're like, no, it's not their show. Actually, it's our show, and we're not going to bring the show back. So screw you. Right. So ultimately, what I would say, black people, is that you want to understand the power and the importance of ownership. And I think also, even when you talk about, black owned banks, I think we have to sort of figure out, like, what does that mean to be a black owned bank? So like with One United, I'd like to see their ownership structure, their layout, their managerial structure. Who are their managers to really know, is this a black owned bank? I'm not saying that it isn't, but I'm just still trying to figure out, who's the management of this black owned bank that thought that this Harriet Tubman Wakanda image makes sense. I not that I don't believe them, and I'm looking them up. I'm Googling them now, looking at the images. I see lots of black people in the images. And, and I guess I'd like to know who's supplying the capital. What's the complete layout of this bank? Because this was just such a bad idea. You just have to wonder, like, what was happening here. And I think that they owe the community an apology, not just another BS excuse. Like that explanation was not adequate. And one thing that people have to learn is that, and please holler if you hear me, say amen if you agree. The black community's gotten a lot more intelligent than it used to be. The black community's gotten a lot smarter than it used to be. That's why the Democratic Party can't fool black people the way they used to. It is causing a lot of people a lot of concern. You can't get over on the same things you used to be able to get over on. So you're going to have to come legit with the community. You can't come with a BS excuse because black people will talk back at you. And that becomes kind of a challenge. But I think at the same time, those of you who are talking back to institutions or individuals for whom you're disappointed, you should set parameters and standards in terms of what you expect them to do. Like, okay, so if I challenge Gayle King on her BS Kobe Bryant interview, which I did that for quite a while, because I do not stand with Gayle on that. I think Gayle was wrong. I don't want to cancel Gayle per se. She can have a job. I don't care about that. I just need you to kind of chill out with like your consistent attacks on black men. If I challenge Gayle, then I open the door. I say, okay, Gayle, if you don't agree with what I said, you can come in here. You can defend yourself. Gayle, here's what I need you to do, right? I don't just say kill Gayle, cancel Gayle, get rid of Gayle. No, it's not like that. It's like, here's where we need you to kind of straighten up because there is a code of conduct within the black family. And I think within the black community, we should have standards and expectations of one another. And also I try to be as transparent with you guys as possible. Like, so for example, when I tell you guys about the Black Business School, if you ever have a question about the Black Business School or something that we've done that you're not happy with, number one, we have a great customer support team. Anybody who ever has a question, any issue whatsoever, and you should tell people, a lot of you are students in the Black Business School, tell them, email support@theblackbusinessschool.com, support@theblackbusinessschool.com. They will take good care of you right away. And number two, let us know how we can help you. This money that we ask you to give to us, we're showing you where we're reinvesting it in the community. That transparency is really important when it comes to what you do with your money, because we got $1.3 trillion in income every year, in our community that we have to protect. And I'm encouraging us as Black people to protect that and to understand what economic codes of conduct actually look like and what generalized socialized codes of conduct and behavior look like. And I just really think it's a beautiful time to be Black, in the sense that as we're working through all the drama and the chaos and, whatever, we're actually reaching a higher standard in terms of how we expect ourselves to live and to coexist with other communities. So I'm actually really excited about being Black. So if you love being Black, type B1 in the chat. If you think Black people matter more than anything else, type B1 in the chat. If you put Black people first, type B1 in the chat. Let's all get on code together before we bounce out. Everybody type B1 in the chat before you go, so that we all are on the same page. So I'm out of here, guys. Have a good night. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins. Please hit the thumbs up button, share button, and subscribe button before you bounce out of here. And I will see you guys soon. And oh, by the way, if you want a free e-copy of my book, It Takes a Village to Raise the Bar, it's totally free. Go to drboycewatkins.net. That's drboycewatkins.net. That's my free gift to you guys. I think you'll like the book. It has a fee. The cost is $10, but I don't want you to buy it. Just go there and to drboycewatkins.net. You can get it absolutely free right now. So I'll see you soon. Have a good night. Talk to you later. Peace.